Once in a lifetime planning opportunity, but should you do it? When are the circumstances ripe for this strategy? I've got that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernardo, the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. As a financial advising team, we've got about 20 certified financial planners on the team here at Korhorn Financial Group. And one of the things that I just love, favorite parts of the week, is our case class. This is where an advisor, if they've met with a new client, prospective client, they bring that client situation, their goals, and all the details of their financial life to a case class where multiple advisors, multiple professionals, CPAs, tax advisors, insurance advisors, several financial planners, all take a look at it together, the financial situation, the client's goals, concerns, and situation, and we all go through the 6 areas of financial planning to say, what are the issues? How can we help? What are the big decisions, financial decisions that need to be made? Well, recently, we were meeting with an individual who came in because her spouse had just passed away, and so we were obviously lots of financial issues there to work through, and lots of big decisions that need to be made. Well, as we got deeper into one of the areas, the discussion with health insurance came up. Well, she and her husband had a high deductible health plan that was HSA eligible. So they had an HSA. She has not funded it yet for this year because essentially she's not sure what she should do and long-term what the plan is for her health insurance. She could stay on COBRA, or she could transition to a health insurance policy, healthcare.gov, but she's also very close to Medicare age. So there's just this question of, well, what will her health insurance be in the future? And then as we got to talking about strategy, there was a question. Well, should she fund her HSA from her IRA? This is something that you may not know, you may not have considered yourself. Can you even do it? Can you actually fund your HSA from your IRA? And if so, should you do it? And if you should, what are the circumstances? Is this one of those circumstances? So the answer is yes. You can fund your HSA from your IRA. You can do it once in your lifetime, not once a year, not once every so often. It's once in your lifetime. If you've got a qualifying high deductible health plan, so you're eligible to fund an HSA, you have this once in a lifetime opportunity to fund your fund your HSA from your IRA. How does that work? Well, can I transfer $100,000 from my IRA to my HSA? No. The amount that you can transfer equals whatever that annual contribution limit is for you, for your applicable situation in that calendar year. So in 2024, the maximum that you can contribute into an HSA for a single individual, $4,150. If you're age 55 or older, you can add an extra $1,000 on top of that. So the annual limit in this individual's case, she's near retirement, so she's near Medicare age, so she's over 55, $5,150. That's her contribution limit. That would be the amount that she could transfer from her IRA to her HSA. Do you get a deduction? No, you don't. But the withdrawal or the transfer, the money coming out of your IRA is not taxable. So think of it like, well, what if it was taxable and then you got the deduction for making the contribution to the HSA? All right, nice and easy. However, this is a non-taxable transfer, okay? So it comes out of your IRA, but it's not taxable. It goes into your HSA, but it's not a tax deduction. So it's basically a neutral event. Well then, can I also take some cash out of my pocket and contribute to my IRA as well in that year and get that deduction, basically double my contribution that year? No, you can't. This counts as if it's your contribution. You wouldn't be able to also contribute more cash and get a deduction for it. So the answer is yes, you can make a contribution to your HSA from your IRA. That's a little bit of how it works. Should you do it, and is this the circumstance where you should? Well, a few of us advisors, like I said, during case class, we sparred, we talked through this, like pros and cons, how would it work? And actually, this isn't always the case, but one of the things that I had shared was, I don't think it is. This does not seem like the opportunity, the right time to do this. Yes, I do think in this individual situation, she should make a contribution to her HSA. Why? Because she has medical expenses that are ongoing. She also might be shifting her health insurance at some point coming up, getting on Medicare or something. So she might not be able to have a lot of opportunity to put money into an HSA that could then be pulled out and used tax-free for medical expenses. So I think she should make a contribution. However, even though her financial situation, she had some life insurance proceeds, she had a decent amount in cash, probably $100,000 total in cash, so a lot. But then for retirement, she only had about $200,000 total. That's it. And so we were going to need to figure out how to construct a path towards retirement for her. But it seems like you would want to make a contribution to the HSA right out of the cash that she had. $100,000 in cash seems like, in her situation, their situation, that's a lot. That's more than what you officially need, and we've got to build plans, and a lot of that's going to be used for helping supplement retirement income and Social Security. But we could use $5,150 of that to contribute to an IRA, and I would do that so that she gets the deduction. Remember, and transferring money from your IRA into your HSA doesn't create a tax deduction, but contributing to your HSA right out of your bank account, that will create a deduction. So we'd be getting a tax benefit for making that contribution from cash into her HSA, where we would get no tax benefit if we transferred it from her IRA. So as you're thinking through this now, that actually begs the question, even though you're allowed to do this transfer from your HSA to your IRA once in your lifetime, is there ever a situation where you would? If it's always going to be better to make a contribution out of cash so that you get a tax deduction, is there ever a time when you would transfer from an IRA into your HSA? Yes, and I think there's only one instance, or variations thereof, but there's one primary instance, and that is you have current medical expenses. You do not have current cash or cash flow at your disposal. If you have current medical expenses, I've got to pay these bills. I've got a health emergency or a health need or a short term. I have medical expenses and I don't have the cash to pay for them. But you have money in your IRA, money in your retirement accounts. And one option could be, well, I got to draw the money out of my retirement accounts. I'll draw it out and it's going to be taxable, and so be it. I've got to pay these bills. Well, if you haven't made an HSA contribution yet, or by then, and you haven't done this once in a lifetime transfer, that's the time when it would make sense, it may make sense, to transfer money from your IRA to your HSA and then use those dollars to pay the medical bills. Why? Not because, I get a tax benefit when I do that. No. Again, you don't get a tax deduction on your contribution. It's because it's not taxable when you withdraw the money. See, in that scenario, this one isolated incident, if you draw the money out of your IRA to pay your medical bills, it's going to be taxable. That money, that withdrawal from your IRA, you're going to have to pay tax on it. But if instead you draw the money from an HSA, it's not going to be taxable because you're using the money for qualified medical expenses. It's always going to be better if you've got the cash or you've got the cash flow and you can make a contribution to your HSA and then use that money for medical expenses. Absolutely do that, because you get a tax benefit on the way in. But if you have near-term medical expenses and do not have the cash to make a contribution to your HSA, but instead have IRA dollars, that's the time period when you'd want to use this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make that transfer from your IRA to your HSA. Unique situation, not applicable to all. You're going to want to work with your certified financial planner, someone who's looking at all 6 areas of your financial life to see whether you've got one shot, whether you should use it at that moment or not. So work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.